your hand, press star 5. This meeting is being transcribed. This meeting is being recorded.
Are we, everybody's on deck?
The second one seems more of a slam dunk. You can comment.
You guys are set?
It shut it off. I don't know.
Try it again. We'll see if it's you. It's you. Okay.
Sure, it'll be very brief anyways.
So did her spot get sabotaged?
It's a movie, that's all right.
A New Year's prank? Okay. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission, the Village of Bartlett, Counties of Cook, DuPage, and Kane at 7:02. Please call the roll.
Michelle Sarwaz. Charlie DeVoe.
Here.
George Koziel.
Here.
Bob Bacaro.
Here.
John Mieso.
Here.
Julie Kapadukakis.
Here.
Amy McSwain.
Here.
John Borkgren.
Here.
Mike Weirden.
Here. You have before you the minutes from the November 6th, 2025 meeting. Chair will entertain a motion to approve.
I move to approve the minutes from last meeting, November 6th.
Moved by Amy, is there a second?
Second.
John?
Second, yes.
John Miazzo seconded it. Any questions? Please call the roll.
Charlie DeVoe.
Abstain.
George Koziel.
Abstain.
Bob Bacaro.
Abstain.
John Mieso.
Yes.
Julie Kapadukakis.
Yes.
Amy McSwain.
Yes.
John Borkgren.
Yes.
Mike Weirden.
Yes. Did you have enough for approval? Yes. Okay. The next item on the agenda is the public forum. This is for anybody who has something to address to this board that's not on the agenda tonight. Does anyone have anything to say? Okay. Public hearing for Georgian Place. I understand it's being postponed or
Yes, we received notice that the applicant was not able to send the public notices in time before the deadline. Those have to be sent out 15 days before. They weren't able to meet that, so we're asking for a continuance to put it onto the February Planning and Zoning Commission date.
Okay, is there a motion to approve a continuance to the next meeting?
I move to continue 1001 Georgian Place to the February 2026 meeting.
Second.
Moved by John, seconded by George. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Charlie DeVoe.
Yes.
George Koziel.
Yes.
Bob Bacaro.
Yes.
John Mieso.
Yes.
Julie Kapadukakis.
Yes.
Amy McSwain.
Yes.
John Borkgren.
Yes.
Mike Weirden.
Yes. Okay, so that was case 2514. Now we have case 2507, Hanover Township Campus Extension 2. Are the petitioners present? If you're going to be speaking, let's just have you stand right now so that I can swear you in.
I am going to need to recuse myself from this.
You're going to recuse yourself on this?
They're my employer.
Okay. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly affirm that the evidence you're about to give is only the whole truth? Okay, you may be seated. Do we have the mailings, the newspaper article, and the picture of the sign?
This does not require a public hearing. This is still requires your approval, but the public notices were not required for.
Okay, okay, that's good. All right, go ahead and present the case.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is James Barr. I'm the Township Administrator at Hanover Township, and the Township is requesting an amendment to our PUD for phases 2 and 3. I believe I have the clicker here. The Township acquired, many of you are familiar with the main Township campus. The Township covers 6 municipalities, but our main campus, what we call and dedicated as the William Tickness campus, many years ago is on Route 59 in Bartlett. And we've had the main 8.5 acres since 1980. Approximately 5 years ago, the township purchased the adjoining approximately 17.5 acres for several purposes. The immediate purpose at the time was for a new emergency services station, which we received some grant funding for, and then we had a multi-phase development for the rest of the property, and that came forward to be annexed and a PUD in 2022. So I'll go through here. In 2022, at that point, we envisioned the immediate project being our emergency services station right along Route 59, and then there was an existing house structure on that property that had been there since about the 1940s. That portion of the property and the bulk of the property had been unincorporated, with the portion just along Route 59 previously incorporated in the village of Bartlett. In 2022, we asked that the entire property be incorporated and annexed into the village of Bartlett with these future developments planned. Oop, I jumped ahead. So Phase 1 Emergency Services Station, that was completed, and you can see that from Route 59 as you drive along. That was completed about 1.5 years ago. It was a very nice development, and there's a retention pond out front with a lot of natural plantings that have grown in. And then we were planning out the next few phases. Back in 2022, when we came forward, the intention was to take that original farmhouse and make that into the headquarters of what we call at Hanover Township our Facilities and Road Maintenance Department. It's very similar to a public works department. They maintain our roads, our buildings, our open spaces, our fleet. Oh, it keeps advancing. There we go. The intent was to take that house and do an adaptive reuse on it at about this time frame. And so we're coming forward looking for authorization to do that. And at that time, we're looking to take a lot of the other open space on the property. There are a couple of ponds and wetlands and other green space, a lot of very old growth forest, and make that into an open space reserve that would be open to the public of all ages. We've been fortunate that the township was the recipient of a State of Illinois Department of Natural Resources open space, keeps wanting to advance, an OSLA grant, what they call an open space grant from the Illinois Department of Natural Resources. So now we are under a little bit of a time frame with the state of Illinois that we have to move forward relatively quickly to build that out. Our landscape architect is here with Hitchcock Design Group. He'll be describing that in a moment. And before that'll be the new Phase 3. And then what we're proposing is to separate out on the western end of the property future development that we will come back to the village for at a later date for any future development. That could be a cemetery. There has been interest in another public cemetery, but that's not what we're proposing today. We'll come back if that is the direction in a future date. I would project out anywhere from 4 to 8 years out from now that we may be ready for that. We have some other projects between these immediate projects and that we would need to address. We have some property in Elgin that we're doing some further development on. We also have some intentions in doing some renovations down the road to the main town hall. If you've seen our town hall, it looks maybe a little dated. We know it needs some work, so we know we need to come back and do some work on that. So any future development on that remaining property, which, as has been discussed, could include a cemetery, would be beyond all of that. So probably 4 to 8 years out. So this picture is just a little bit of the development. Actually, this is a, I love doing these. Here we go. It's a little sensitive. It's okay. So that is what's been constructed. That's the emergency services station and the retention pond near it. That's an older picture. A lot of the greenery has grown through that, and there's a lot of native plants and grasses throughout that now. That's grown in nicely. That was Phase 1. And as I was saying, now we're sort of rephasing. We're looking to do immediately in the next year this new facilities and road maintenance headquarters in the existing property, and then an open space reserve throughout what's pink on all of that map. But there's some ponds and wetlands around there where there'll be paths and gazebos and other amenities that I'll defer to Eric here in a minute to describe. And then a future phase, which would be all of that green space on the west end of the property for future development, potentially including a cemetery if that continues to be something in demand. It is, oh, it's jumping ahead again. So with that, I will turn it over for the Phase 2 discussion to our engineer on the project, Chris, with Thomas Engineering. Careful.
I hope there wasn't a timer. Maybe it's to keep us on track here. But my name's Chris DeYoung. I'm with Thomas Engineering. We did the Phase 2 portion of this job, which is basically that little yellow strip. It's a very exciting portion of a driveway to the new facilities and resource. Oh my goodness, the farm buildings, facilities and roads management building, maintenance building. It told me, perfect. That building is under renovations. They did the exterior renovations that were permitted earlier last year, I believe, and you can see the new after photo there. It looks really nice. The plan is to update the interior, but before that can actually happen, they need to have the driveway permitted. Let's see here. So this is the exciting driveway that we designed. The basic idea is there's already a driveway there. It's an aggregate driveway that goes back to the building. The fire department needs access back there, so where we came in is we had to redesign a little bit of it just to make sure the fire truck fit around the end there in case there was an emergency. There's a new parking lot that it's also been designed. It's ADA compliant, of course, to reach into the building there. And it's going to be an asphalt driveway. Coincidentally, a lot of what's out there now is a lot of aggregate. It's going to get shortened up, narrowed. So there will be a lot of restoration along the side of the path there. So there will be more plantings, more grass along the driveway path. As was mentioned before by the administrator, there's high-quality wetlands on this site. So we do have a sub-consultant, Huff & Huff, who has done their wetland delineations and their studies. They did that in Phase 1. They did it again in Phase 2 as a requirement for the stormwater management report that we had to do. It's a beautiful property, and I'll turn over the exciting part over to Eric here.
All right, I'm Eric Hornig with Hitchcock Design Group. I'm a landscape architect. We are part of the Phase 3 piece of it. And so just orientation a little, I guess, on the beauty of it. A lot of it is pretty mature, native trees. There's a area kind of in the backyard of the farm building that is open with grass and kind of a savanna look to it. Really nice piece of property, and so what we're trying to do is protect and preserve and provide meaningful access to that piece of nature. Our plan highlights here, so it's relatively straightforward. It's a system of trails, and we've got a combination of asphalt trails and decomposed granite or limestone screenings trails. They are 6 feet wide, so they're intended for walking, not necessarily biking, although they could accommodate. But we have about a half a mile of trails in total proposed. To the north, kind of above the page here, we would be connecting, through the, there is a time limit. Faster. To the Western Trail to the north, and then there's an opportunity to connect to a future walk or trail that might run along Sayre Road that might be in your long-term planning, but we held it short just because there's no crosswalks or anything down there, so we don't want to actually make that connection until there's a good point to connect to. In the center, there's a core area, which I'll show you in here in a second. On the east edge, there's a gazebo and a pavilion kind of right near the emergency services building. And then we've got a couple of, just a few more seconds, boardwalks that provide some of that meaningful access into the wetland areas, and to the one that's to the north is tends to be a little bit more wet. So we're calling that a discovery dock. All right, this is the core area. We've got 3 little nodes. One is really just a plaza on the south. The one on the east is an outdoor classroom, and the one to the north is a fitness pod. And so these are intended for programming use with their youth and senior programming. So look at what the gazebo might look like on the eastern edge, a 2-tier hex, 24 feet in diameter. and look at the boardwalks. Very simple, kind of tow rail only, just trying to get in and provide that meaningful access without disturbing too much. And then the Discovery Dock, this picture that there's not near as much water in that on that property as there is in this picture, but this is kind of the gist of it. And let's see, as James mentioned, this is an OSLOD grant, and so it does have a 2-year kind of timeline, and so we're ready to get started. We're pretty close on the construction documents, and should be ready to bid pending approval here. So,
Thank you. Anyone else? Did you get any calls or emails from anybody in the public?
No, but again, we didn't send, public notices were not required for this, so.
Okay,
But no.
okay.
So, and I do want to, in regards to the path connecting to Sayer Road, if you recall during the first approval of this for preliminary, there were a few residents that lived on, I believe it's Preserve Trail, just south of this, the lots that you can see there. The village had said that we would put in a sidewalk connecting from the cul-de-sac north to these to their trails.
Okay,
So,
so that's still planned.
yes.
I was impressed. I didn't realize that it was still the same farmhouse. You guys really did quite a bit of updating on it. Apparently it was structurally sound, right? But from what I read here, that's not going to be public access. That's pretty much the employees.
That is correct. That's really for our basically our Public Works Department. There was a lady that actually, she lived into her 90s and lived there until about, probably about 8 years ago. And I think she lived till about 95. But it was like going into a time capsule. There was a rumpus room. Dining room was all mirrored. A lot of really neat older fixtures in there. So a really pretty neat property. Not very ADA friendly. But and so we're trying to address some of that, but a neat property.
So with all the outdoor plans that you have and some of the wetlands, all that was already there, or did you have to replace some?
No, it was all there, and our intent was really to utilize it, improve it, make it open and accessible to the public. And I also think that that was part of the reason why you didn't see other developers really approach the property, because it had a lot of developmental limitations for a private developer. But for public purposes, it has a lot of potential. And we think with the senior center on property, with Victory Center immediately adjacent, with the connection to the West Bartlett Road path, there's a lot of walkable pedestrian traffic. We also have a youth services department out of the town hall. We think some of them will be able to utilize it as well.
I'm impressed with what all has gone on there and your plans. It really looks like a nice facility by the time you get through. I can't imagine any eyesores. I know that you made a comment one time, it's the very first building compared to the second building, they weren't that many years apart, but what a difference in construction, right?
Yes, yes. It's a really interesting property, but I think it'll be really nice to allow the full public to be able to access it and see some of the neat, I mean, a lot of it is really old growth forest too that people will be able to utilize too.
Right. Any questions from anyone on the board?
So site, or Phase 2 and Phase 3 will be done concurrently?
That's the intent. We have to move forward pretty quickly with actually Phase 3, which is the open space, to make sure that is completed by the time the grant expires, which is next spring. And really, winter outside is not a good time for outdoor construction, so we really hope to construct those outdoor improvements over the summer and at latest into the early fall. The Phase 2, which is really that farmhouse, what we call our farmhouse, but it's the house conversion, will be done concurrently, but isn't on as tight of a time frame because there's not grant funding out there, limiting the time frame.
Very good.
Any plans to increase parking or encourage people to park at not the Victory Center, but the the other facilities that are there?
Certainly. So we're not proposing increasing parking, but there's definitely available parking in front of the emergency services station, in front of the town hall, and if they feel like walking a little further, the senior center. But there is quite a bit of parking already there that during the daylight hours is not generally fully utilized.
Going back to the wetlands for a second, are there any wetlands that need to be mitigated?
There are 3 wetland areas, but I don't believe any of them have to be mitigated. The intent is to sort of enhance them. Actually, I think that middle one, there was a picture here somewhere that did a good job. Oh, I went too far. Well, there's there are 3 areas that are wetlands. One's mainly a pond, one goes between being a pond and wetland, and one is mainly just wetlands. And the idea is to have all the paths kind of go around them without actually impacting them. Okay. So I believe there's minimal, is that right? Do you want to talk about?
A little bit of impacting the wetlands buffer, not in the actual wetland itself. And that's what we'll go through the property.
Yeah, and while you're talking, Eric, it is heavily wooded during Phase 2 and the future phases. Is most of the site going to be cleared and grubbed of all that?
No. Yeah, I don't think we're taking out maybe 1 or 2 trees. So we're really snaking the trail around to avoid.
Yeah, nice. Construction-wise, the next thing that's going to happen, somebody mentioned construction drawings next. That's going to be for what, the road and for landscaping?
Yeah, the Phase 3 construction drawings, which are these essentially, those are nearing completion.
The Phase 2 drawings have been submitted to the village, and I believe we are all on board with the village and good to go. So those have been approved by the village as well, village engineers.
And that driveway mainly goes along an existing gravel road, and it's really just replacing
Yeah, I
the
saw
gravel
that.
drive with a paved driveway.
I think we drove that today.
It's bumpy.
Yeah, gravel.
Covered with leaves, I was expecting some potholes, but nothing happened, so be pretty good. So that'd be an asphalt drive. Is there going to be a curb and gutter or just?
I don't believe so. I think it's just a basic driveway, largely because the intended use is just a staff-level access to that building.
Yeah.
Not a high-traffic area. Okay.
In the house itself, I imagine that the greenhouse portion, is that coming off?
Actually, we're looking to see if we can restore it and use it for greenhouse purposes. So the township collectively across our, all of our areas has about 60 acres of open space. So we're looking to see if we can keep that, revitalize it, and make it into a greenhouse for purposes of future plantings across all of our open spaces.
Yeah, the fact that you're reusing that existing house for this purpose is terrific. All in all, I think it's a good overall plan.
Very impressive. Anyone else? Okay, so we don't have a public hearing. We can, if there are no more comments, we can take any motions or further comments, whatever.
Well, I make a motion to accept the plan based on the findings and facts and an inspection of the property. I move to approve the petitioners.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by George. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Charlie DeVoe,
Yes.
George Koziel,
Yes.
Bob Picaro,
Yes.
Tom Mieso,
Yes.
Amy McSwain,
Yes.
John Borkman,
Yes.
Mike Weirden.
Yes. Okay, we shall pass on a positive recommendation to the village board. And I think you're going to be on real fast, right, next week?
No, not next week, because that packet already went out. So that'll be on the first Tuesday in February. I believe.
First Tuesday in February, okay. Good luck with everything. Look forward to seeing this when it's completed. Okay, the only other item, new business, old business, anything coming up?
One case that was continued.
Will be next.
Will definitely be on in February. I don't think we'll have anything else scheduled for that agenda, but we do have a lot of projects that are in the pipeline, so I would expect us to have meetings a few months in a row.
Okay. Anything else? Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Moved by John, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, adjourned.